Let's unpack this now, and we speak to James Hodge. He is the Chief Economist and Chairperson of the Media and Digital Platforms Market Inquiry at the Competition Commission, and he joins us via our video link. Mr. Hodge, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Perhaps to start off here, if you can give us an overview of what happened today and what took place today into those hearings when it comes to the media landscape, and basically for media houses to be compensated for the data in which they share.
Well, we have been hearing from the media in the first few days, and as Katlego indicated, next week we'll hear from Google and Microsoft, and over the weeks that follow also Meta. So this is a process of going through the information, getting the evidence from the different parties and getting their perspectives and engaging them and debating with them some of the issues. So I think what has happened in the first few days is we've heard from the media about the devastation that has happened in South African media, and the difficulty that places the country, because the fourth estate, as News 24 put it, plays a critically important role in informing the citizens, and that goes from community media right up to the mainstream media, and even, as we heard today, financial and business media. So it plays an important role, and in an election year, that maybe comes into a lot more sharper focus. So the impact of certainly digital on the media, which is what we're exploring in this inquiry, is something incredibly serious and is relevant to even the constitutional rights that we have as citizens. So it is important we understand it carefully. It is important we understand the cause and effect if we are to make proper findings and then put in place remedies to address any findings that we make. So I think it has been a wake-up call these first few days, just hearing about how the media has been devastated in this last period, and certainly brought home the fact that as citizens we are not going to be as informed as we should be.
And would you say that this is a necessary inquiry, especially when it comes to the protection of South African media houses?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're not alone in being concerned about the impact of big tech on and search and social media platforms on the media. The important thing is to get to the bottom of how this impact is happening, whether it is happening as a source from the digital platforms or not. But the outcome that we're seeing at the moment is of large concern, and it may not be a digital platform only effect, it may be other factors, but it's certainly concerning. I think as was pointed out today and even yesterday as well, is in the vacuum, if credible news leaves a vacuum because it's not able to report, then misinformation, disinformation thrives, and especially in an election year. And that's why we're seeing, efforts around fact-checking from the IEC and trying to bring in the media and even some of the platforms in order to do that. So as citizens, we need to be properly informed to make responsible decisions, such as voting. And if we're subject to disinformation and misinformation, then it undermines our own rights for freedom of expression. And
Jurisdiction always comes into play, especially when South Africa deals with international companies. And of course, we are dealing here with a number of international companies and these social media platforms. When it comes to that issue, how does the Commission plan to deal with it, especially if they want these recommendations to be enforced?
Well, we're pretty clear we have jurisdiction. The Competition Act says that jurisdiction occurs when in this case, a digital platform has an effect on the economy. And the effect goes beyond the economy. It goes to potentially constitutional rights, if that is the ultimate impact, which means the effect, if you look at a constitutional leaning, has a much bigger impact of these platforms. So from our perspective, it is a clear we have jurisdiction. In our last inquiry, we did impose our jurisdiction on many global platforms, and they accepted that. I think there is a chance that some may seek to challenge that, and that typically only delays the outcome. It doesn't take away from that outcome. So we're confident that we will be able to, if there is a finding to be made and there are remedies to impose, then we can exert that through our jurisdiction.
And yesterday, I know that, something that was pointed out quite a bit was the issue of X not being present at this inquiry. And, especially when you look at the role it plays for news and the role it plays for many media houses in South Africa, if they are not present and they play such a crucial role, throughout the world, what does this mean for this process?
Well, look, we, as we stated yesterday, find this unacceptable. And whilst we have tools such as summons of documents and people, it shouldn't be necessary in a democracy to have that with important platforms. We should be open to a public engagement. And as we pointed out as well, that is X's selling point, that it is a public conversation platform for engagement and discussion and debate, yet it seems not willing to do that. So yes, it's unacceptable, and we have asked the public to voice their concern over this. It just means, as I said, we may be able to exert our jurisdiction through summons and other means, but it unnecessarily can delay the process. And it doesn't look good for X in the sense of what are they hiding if they don't want to come and be accountable to the public and be transparent and engage in the debate. And certainly, as you point out, what we've heard already in the first 2 days, they play an important role. They are a platform for politicians, for political parties, for journalists, media. And so in an election year and around people who have influence in the political landscape, they are incredibly important. And so their role in misinformation, disinformation is relevant to this inquiry, as well as their influence. And so we're not going to shy away from obviously including them, but we think that they don't want to come out in a public forum and engage. Incredibly disappointing, and not in the interest of the public of South Africa. If they do want to operate in this country, then they should also be accountable to the people of the country.
Mr. Hodge, thank you so much for your time this evening. That is James Hodge. He is the Media and Digital Platforms Market at the inquiry at the Competition Commission, just giving us his insight there on day 2 of those hearings. And of course, this will be heard over a month.